Hey there, guys. This is Nicole in Houston, Texas. I'm really excited to talk to you about the holidays. So that's always fun, right? I'm going to wait and see if some people jump on here. This is Saturday night, hopefully date night for a lot of parents. My husband's traveling back from a fun trip with 21 students, so that's awesome. And hey there, Candace. Good to see you. Jennifer Whitehead. How's your trip? Where are you? Are you still like traveling all over the place, or are you back home? You back in New Orleans? Hey there, Bob. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. Hey there, John. Wow. Elizabeth. Oh, Elizabeth, how are you, girl? Good to see your name. Hey, Stephen. Good to see you on here. Guys, what a big topic, yeah? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that gut. Okay, so let me just say this. I'll put this out here. I think a lot of us in our early 20s don't think twice about our gut. We don't even think about our health. Hey, Hassan, because we always feel good. I mean, if we're just an average person that eats average food, that maybe average exercise occasionally at 19, 20 years old, we feel okay. We have tons of energy. We don't think twice about it. We may see some middle-aged person and think, whoa, that's never going to be me. I'm never going to have to go to the doctor. I'm never going to have to get a medication. I'm never going to feel bad. And then one day it sneaks up on you. It sneaks up on you and you wake up and you're like, oh man, I don't feel good. And it's a long time coming. It's maybe an ache or pain there, a headache, or maybe your stomach hurts because you ate onions and you love onions. What's that all about? Maybe you don't have that energy to get to the gym anymore. Maybe you feel like you're grumpy every day. You used to not be grumpy, but you're hitting the snooze button 20 times and you still feel exhausted, right? A lot of these things are culprits. They're little bitty culprits that add up over time that can actually start increasing that waistline. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but if I feel bloated, I immediately like grab something and like cover my waist because I feel self-conscious. Like everybody knows that my stomach hurts and it's bloated and my clothes don't fit right. Of course nobody knows. You're the only one that's uncomfortable in your skin or in your clothes. Hey there, Victor. Thanks for joining. Hey, Lisa. Hey, girl. Okay, we need to talk. So here's the deal. There's so many things that you can do to get started, and starting with small goals are good. But sometimes you think, I don't even know where to start. But I'm going to tell you right now, a great place to start that's going to help you set you up for optimal results is healing your gut. Everybody walks around, ready for this one? Hold on to your seat. Everyone walks around with an extra 2 to 5 pounds of impacted waste in their body all the time. And that's disgusting, but it's true, and it's the way our body's made. However, that's more than normal. That's a lot. And when you have that type of impacted waste, basically what happens is those toxins and metals, environmental metals, and all those things that sit in our body that we breathe in, we consume in our food, they sit there and they wreak havoc and they cause inflammation. So some of our bloating in our gut is not just sodium content or impacted waste. It could be inflammation from foods that you're eating. Not everyone can take grains. Not everyone can actually have gluten or lactose. And I think a lot of us find that out as we get older. And while we ignore little things, when they start to consume us every day, it really does change our attitude and the way we see ourselves, and we can't see ourselves properly. So what I want to talk to you quickly about is one change that you can make in your diet. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily like what I'm about to talk about, but I will tell you at the end of this conversation, you may think twice about adding this staple into your diet. And what I'm going to talk to you about is kefir. A lot of people's never even heard of it. And up to 2 years ago, I had never even heard of kefir. Really? I've heard of buttermilk, and I thought maybe when someone explained it to me, that was the same thing, but it's absolutely not. So kefir if you've heard of it, is an ancient grain. And it was found, they believe, somewhere in the I think it's called the Caucasus Mountains, somewhere what used to be considered the USSR in Eastern Europe and close to Russia. And it's ancient, and it's been yielded for thousands of years to make something that, when fermented, holds on to probiotics like nothing else. It has tons of nutrients. It's actually it has a more powerful probiotic than just regular Greek yogurt or probiotic yogurt. And probiotic yogurt has tons of protein and tons of fantastic live enzymes and flora, but still kefir is better and it has more. And here are some really wonderful things that you need to know about that it can do for you, which is a great start to hit that waistline. It can control blood sugar. So if you deal with type 1 or type 2 diabetes, this is a great staple to have in your diet, and all you need to do is consume at least 1 to 2 tablespoons a day. But we'll talk about that in a second. It has a very powerful antibacterial property. And so that's really important because that will help stave away a lot of infections and even disease, especially when it comes to things like we're dealing with chickenpox right now. And we have viruses, we have bacteria out there that can cause strep throat too. And it's just really, really big, yucky stuff that's in the air and out in our schools right now. Teachers are falling left and right from it too. So just keep in mind that this is something that can help boost your immune system. It lowers cholesterol. Now we all know that blood pressure and cholesterol go hand in hand. I'll be happy to do another video on why that happens, because it's really a fascinating thing why cholesterol is high when blood pressure is high. So just imagine if you get your blood pressure and your cholesterol intact, they're going to work in sync together. So bring that cholesterol down, your blood pressure is probably going to follow if you're making good choices. It's going to improve your bone health, and it's going to help actually rid off all of those things that start happening to a woman after childbearing years, after she's had a couple of children. She starts to have a deficiency in her bones or in calcium, and it can lead to osteoporosis. And that's a big thing for women. We really take advantage of that when we're young, but as we get older, it really does play a big part in everything for a woman, even men, but mainly women. And I think that that's something you really have to consider now, even in your 30s, about how to put more calcium in your body. It reduces the risks of cancer. Seriously, listen to this. So the probiotics in kefir has been known to shrink tumors. Can you imagine that? Adding one little staple in your diet every day can actually help you lower your risks of cancer. So it can help with digestive issues. I think this is a big one for most people, like I was talking about earlier. If you have problems with your gut, if you have problems with bloating, if you eat something and they go, I didn't even eat that much and I feel like I ate like 5 plates of food, it's probably inflammation if you ate a pretty good dinner, and it could have been something that you're allergic to. So here's the thing. It can actually lower all of that inflammation in your body. So when you have things like IBS and colitis, it can help soothe the pain, because when you have flare-ups with both of those, it's so consuming you don't want to leave home. It's really bad. So that goes hand in hand with something else that it does. It helps improve allergies. So if you're at risk for allergies, it can improve asthma and all kinds of allergy symptoms. And that goes hand in hand with the bloating and inflammation as well. So here's a really wonderful thing. It's easy to make at home. You can buy it at the store, which is great. I like Lifeway. Here's the thing though, if you go buy it at a store, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting the plain kefir. Do not get the kefir that has been flavored, because it's packed with sugar, and that just totally cancels out what you're trying to do. Because if you're putting the sugar in your body, you're actually adding to a bigger problem, because sugar is going to cause even more inflammation. That's what you don't want to do. So always go for the plain kefir. Now, if you want to make it at home, I would be happy to shoot you a recipe. You got a crock pot? I got recipes, and it's really, really, really easy. I was super scared the first time I did it, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a science project, and it worked, and I was so happy. So there are recipes out there on how to make kefir. Now, if you just want to grab it at the store, by all means do it, and you can add things like almonds and walnuts are so good for you, just packed with protein and fiber. And then berries. I love fruit, and I always say if you're going to eat fruit, always start with the berries. You can have apples, you can have berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, because they have the least amount of sugar. And it's a great way to add to the flavor of your kefir. I'm going to give you a super funny thing. So I'm from the South, and my dad was from Cooper, Texas, right? In Cooper, Texas, they're totally Southern, and they have Southern staple recipes. So I remember coming home from church every Sunday night, and my dad would make cornbread, and he would pour buttermilk over it. He would even cut onions up and put salt and pepper in it, and I loved it so much. I know it sounds crazy, but if you're from the South, you've heard of it, or you've tried it, or you love it. And I started doing that with kefir, and it brought back so many memories because, just so you know, kefir does taste like buttermilk, and you can cook with it. That's great. It's a great way to cook, and instead of using your buttermilk for like recipes, use kefir because it's lower on lactose. So if you have any issues with lactose, you find that substitute, and it actually works just as well. Same ratio as buttermilk. So with all that, guys, if you want recipes on how to make kefir, or good recipes on kefir bowls with fruit and nuts and all kinds of things, you can add quinoa to it too. If you want recipes, let me know, because I love kefir, and I think it's one of those things that if you add it to your diet, it's more powerful than yogurt. I love my yogurt, but sometimes you want a bigger boost, and especially with the holidays coming up, that is one of those things that's going to set your immune system higher. It's going to decrease the bloating and the inflammation and help you make good choices. Now, here's my bonus for you. If any of you are looking for something, because we all know that on Thanksgiving, we go straight for the carbs, and we think, it's Thanksgiving, I'm giving myself some grace, I'm eating it. But I have a secret little bottle of amazing supplements that everybody calls me for 2 days before Thanksgiving, goes, do you have any? Because I need some. Can I just have 2 or 3 because I'm going to eat Thanksgiving dinner? And what it does is it goes in and breaks down the starches in your body, the white starches that convert to sugar, then turn to fat, and flushes them out before they can convert. Now, here's my thing. I have people asking me for this all the time, and they want to use that as a Band-Aid. It's like, I could eat pizza whenever I want. I could have Mexican food whenever I want because I'm just going to take this. I don't recommend it, because I don't think that that is a good sign of a healthy lifestyle. I think it's cheating. But I will say this, the product works. So if you do want to know more about that, shoot me a private message and I'll tell you.